Pituitary gland is called master endocrine gland. Spiritual connection to all that is. The seventh chakra tethers us to our spiritual nature and to our capacity to allow spirituality to become an integral part of our physical lives. The most commonly accepted location for the seventh chakra is at the top of the head or slightly above it, represented by a thousand-petal lotus. It sits like a crown, radiating upwards. Also noteworthy is that the seventh chakra connects energetically with the first chakra. The crown chakra is primarily associated with the pituitary gland and hypothalamus. Located at the base of the brain behind the bridge of the nose, the pituitary gland is a pea-sized structure referred to as the master gland. The pituitary gland produces hormones which control metabolism, growth, sexual maturation, reproduction, blood pressure, in addition to many other vital functions. The hypothalamus works with the pituitary gland to regulate the endocrine system. Due to its location, the crown chakra is closely associated with the higher brain or cerebral cortex. The cerebral cortex is the brain's top or outermost layer. It plays a key role in attention, perception, awareness, thought memory, language, and consciousness. Consequently, yogis identify thought as element of the seventh chakra. This chakra is most commonly represented with the color white, although it can also be depicted as deep purple. The seventh chakra, Sahasrara, means thousandfold. It is the energy center within our bodies that is responsible for thought, awareness, and wisdom. As we open to what is beyond our personal preoccupations and visions, Sahasrara connects us to the divine energy that creates everything in the universe and our higher selves. According to Anodi Judi's book Eastern Body, Western Mind, Sahasrara is largely concerned with our search for meaning. As the seventh chakra's development builds our cognitive structure, belief system, and understanding of the world at large. It encompasses our ability to question and think for ourselves and has no concrete development stage. Instead, it develops throughout life, beginning at the moment of birth and continuing until we die. When the crown chakra is healthy, an individual can easily access his inner wisdom. Moreover, he feels connected to others and life, and is able to see the bigger picture. Consequently, he experiences a sense of serenity and wholeness despite outer circumstances. When an individual realizes that everything is interconnected, he begins to live with gratitude, faith, and trust rather than with fear and anxiety. What happens when Sahasrara is imbalanced? When we live in stressful environments with a fast-paced lifestyle or are coping with unresolved trauma, the crown chakra can become imbalanced. As a result, individuals may suffer from migraines, light sensitivity, headaches, or chronic fatigue. From a mental emotional standpoint, depression, mental illness, and lack of empathy may also be present. Other indications of an unhealthy crown chakra includes the following: apathy or boredom with life, lack of purpose, insomnia, nightmares or night terrors, feelings of alienation or loneliness, lack of care and compassion towards others, greed, materialism, neurological and endocrine disorders, egotism, narrow-mindedness or over-intellectualizing, learning difficulties, mental fog or confusion. Practices to balance Sahasrara. Meditate, meditate, meditate. As with the sixth chakra, the most important technique for balancing the crown chakra is meditation. Prioritizing time daily for meditation or silence increases our sense of spiritual connection. Over time, daily meditation leads to greater compassion, kindness, forgiveness, humility, and unconditional love for others. Here are 6 more ways to bring harmony to your crown chakra. Spend time alone. Setting aside a time and place for daily spiritual practice, nourishing both body and mind. Consider setting aside a corner of your bedroom or favorite chair as your personal sacred space. Then decorate the space with meaningful objects such as devotional books, candles, flowers, or photographs. The power of prayer. Prayer is a simple yet powerful tool that creates an energetic bridge between you and your crown chakra. The more you pray, the more your crown chakra is opened to the eternal. In fact, many perceive prayer as the key that opens the door to higher consciousness. Hum or chant Om. There is a reason why yogis chant Om. Not only does its sound match the vibration of the crown chakra, but it also brings the individual into a more energized state, improving concentration and helping to let release negativity. Equally important, the meditative sound of Om helps bring conscious awareness into the present moment while simultaneously linking you to the vibration of the entire universe. Further, drawing out the sounds of Om is believed to activate and clear all the chakras. Not comfortable chanting Om, substituting similar words from other spiritual traditions like Amin or Shalom can provide the same effect. Practice pranayama. Practicing pranayama before meditation can deepen your experience. Educate yourself. Open your crown chakra by expanding your mind. Practice inversion. Yoga poses that bring the crown of head towards the floor, such as headstand, down facing frog, fish, and rabbit pose, help to stimulate the crown chakra. Likewise, poses that align all the chakras, affirming the divine within. Fill your mind every day with sportive statements that affirm your connect with a higher power. Use phrases like these: I trust my intuition and am divinely guided. The world is my teacher and I am open to new ideas. I am connected to the wisdom of the universe and all living things. I honor the divine within me. This completes. So Sahasrara, the Sahasrara chakra is connected with the pituitary gland. So, thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment and share the video. Subscribe the channel. Namaskar, my dear friend. Thank you. ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Namaskar, my dear friends. This is video number 13 on the potentials of human mind. This video starts with the subtle effects of the pituitary gland. The external appearance or physique of the people varies from one geographical region to another because of the climatic changes. However, the anatomy, physiology, and internal chemistry of the body is the same in all human beings. The chemistry of human body is so systematic and competent that it can maintain the healthy functioning of the body in natural atmosphere just with the help of the regular intakes of air, water and food. The harmonious functioning of the biochemical reactions within the body can easily defend it against the attack of germs, viruses and primary diseases. It automatically maintains the health of the body in case of minor injuries, pains and distress, etc. This perfect system is disturbed because of external imbalances caused by pollution, uncontrolled diet, artificial and stressful mode of living. Brain is considered to be the reservoir of conscious powers and the source of all intellectual faculties. Its neutral network regulates all the physical, biochemical, and mental functions in the body. According to the modern medical sciences, the endocrine system appears to be the principal linkage for manifestation of the cosmic conscious energy in various brain regulated activities. Recent research has shown that the psychology of an individual has an intimate twofold relationship with the hormone secreting functions of the endocrine glands. Adaptive investigations in neurochemistry and psychology carried out in the past few decades have shown that the root cause of large number of diseases lies in the emotional complexities. Healthy development of mind and soothing conditions of thoughts and emotions upkeep the healthy functioning of the endocrine system and eventually a balanced secretion of neurotransmitters, hormones supported happy and creative conditioning of the mind and healthy functioning of the body. In view of the predominant role of the endocrine system, the latter has been the focus of some important active areas of brain research. The pituitary and pineal glands are said to be the conductor glands or the master glands, as their secretions directly or indirectly affect the functioning of the other glands in the endocrine system. The pituitary plays a fundamental role in the reproductive potentials of individuals. The hormones and androgen and estrogen secreted from here give rise to the masculine and feminine characteristics respectively. Dr. Anne Shales' medical research has shown that his gland is also prominent in protecting the health and orderly functioning of the body. Its regulatory mechanism weakens at the time of emotional perplexity or severe mental disturbance. Persistence of such stressful conditions often results in the occurrence of muscular spasm, skin aberrations, indigestion, constipation, coli- colitis, hypertension, cardiac disorders, etc. Any violation in emotional or mental peace perturbs the harmony of the brain functions, including the endocrine secretions, which in turn disturb the healthy functioning at the physiological, bioelectrical, and biochemical levels and results in the above kinds of diseases and disorders. It is said that the root of all diseases lie in the malice of one's thoughts and emotions, including the negative feeling and tendencies of jealousy, fury, fraudulence, unchaste hypocrisy, excessive ambitions, etc., are like slow poisons which weaken one's mental and physical strength day by day. The early trends of modern psychology and propagated amorous sentiments and fulfillment of concupiscence as an inductive force which is responsible for inspiring the development of cheerful, adventurous, brave and courageous character. It was also affirmed that the suppression of emotions and sensual desires might result in the abjection of personality into a coward, confused, apathetic, disgraceful, criminal, and sarcastic one. The psychologist, like Freud, also attributed improper development or complexities of one's character to the abnormalities in his sexual life. However, new principles of human psychology based on deeper understanding of the neural and mental sciences now convey that it is mainly the state of endocrine system which governs different functions at the physiological and psychological levels. The hormonal secretions of the pituitary gland are found to govern the sexual characteristics and activities of an individual. Impotency and fertility are not associated with so much with the genitals as with the secretions of specific hormones from this gland. The manifestation of masculine characters in a female and feminine signs in a male and eventual change in one's sex are found to be caused by transformation or disorder in the hormonal functions of this gland. Neurohormonal research has identified about 9 principal hormones secreted by the pituitary gland. Mother's natural affection towards her child is also attributed to the effects of such hormones. Stability and decisiveness of mind is found to depend on the secretions of these hormones. The endocrinologist attributed the steady inactivation of the pituitary gland as the major cause of drastic transformation of Napoleon Bonaparte's personality. Physiologists describe 2 parts of this master gland: augmentation of the alpha cells of the first part. Anterior pituitary is found to inspire many characteristics of courage and firmness. A person having excess of these cells will also have excellent power of self-restraint and self-discipline. Such an individual is usually endowed with impressive personality, industriousness, self-confidence, and determination. Such people often become successful leaders. Glorious personality of Abraham Lincoln is a renowned example of the marvelous effects of the growth of alpha cells in the anterior part of the pituitary. Increase in the basophilic cells of the anterior pituitary give rise to feminine characteristics like emotional sensitivity and compassion. People having excess of these cells are generally short and have unstable nature. They show symptoms of psycho, cyclothymia, fluctuating temperament. Sometimes they are over enthusiastic but soon become indifferent or too depressed without any apparent reason. Such persons are often inclined towards art, poetry, and music. Frederick Chopin is reported as having these characteristics in the Encyclopedia of Esoteric Man, unique treatise on peculiarities of human character compiled by Benjamin Walker. Some hormones secreted from the frontal part of the pituitary gland govern the reactions of thyroxine, which is the principal hormone secreted by the thyroid gland and which is essential for metabolic activities and processing of cardiac functions at a normal pace. A hormone called oxytocin is secreted from the back posterior side of the pituitary gland in the mothers of newborns. This hormone stimulates the production and secretion of milk from the mother's breast. Doctor Altshuler, an eminent biochemist at the Harvard University, observes that if there is any biochemical basis of bliss, it must be through the pituitary and pineal glands. It is at these sources where all the biochemicals hormones are produced, which induce the soothing feeling of cheerfulness and enthusiasm. In normal cases, complete development of sexual organs and activation of erogenous sensation takes place during the age of 14 to 16 years. The desires and potentials of indulgence in sexual activities usually diminish by the age of 60 years. Men lose the desire of carnal pleasure and their organs weaken for such activities by this age. Women reach this state even earlier, around the age of 50 years after menopause. However, the perturbation of the normal activities of pituitary sometimes results in amazing abnormalities of both kinds. For instance, Dr. Guilin has mentioned of the case of a 7-year-old boy whose sexual development was equivalent to that of a normal young man. Hippocrates had also cited some abnormalities and attempted analyzing their causes ages ago. The following examples reported during past 100 years or so add to this series. Charles Worth, born in England on 14th March 1829, had become a complete young man at the age of just 4 years. He also grew old fast and passed away at the age of 7. Sudan's 9-year-old mother was in news some years ago. Her husband too was a child of age 10 only when they got their first baby. On the 8th January 1910, an 8-year-old Chinese girl gave birth to a child. There lived another peculiar couple in the Calabar region of Africa where the custom of child marriages is still popular. The couple was blessed by a baby girl when the husband was 17 years old and the wife was only 8. Surprisingly, their daughter too got married in the childhood and became a mother at the age of 9 years. Other extremity of sex-related abnormalities are manifested in people possessing concupiscence and reproductive abilities like those of the youths. Zora Aga of Turkey was 153 old in 1927 when he married his 11th wife. Before that, he had witnessed the death of his 10 wives and 27 children. He had over 70 children from his 11 wives. John Milky of Augusta, Mijay survived a healthy life of 124 years. Few years before his death, John's grey hair had begun to turn black. He was married last at the age of 80 to a young woman of 18 years. He had 10 children from this wife, all of whom were healthy and lived longer than an average inhabitant in that area. Hormonal secretions in women are found to be very compatible and conspicuous to provide extra energy and strength during and after the menstrual cycles, pregnancy, and delivery. Their hormones seem to be more supportive in increasing their resistance and vitality as compared to the man. This is the reason why, despite working for the entire day, every day, all our life, a woman on an average lives longer than man. According to a census of China, about 80% of age 100 years or more were living in the Domi region on the banks of Yangtze. Yang, Yangtze several years ago of these 69 were women and 17 men. 78 of these long-lived people had been residing in small villages and only 8 had spent most of their life in densely populated towns. The oldest in this group was a 116 years old lady who was still living independently in her own cottage in a farm at the outskirts of the village. The relation of hormones with the longevity is another major topic of active research concerning the pituitary and other endocrine glands. Experiments are also on to counter the hormonal deficiencies by injecting the corresponding hormones from certain animals into the patient's blood. However, biocompatibility and non-sustainability of the positive effects, if any, has been the major bottleneck in their success. Similar problems are sometimes faced with the use of tranquilizers and other medicines. The negative reaction of a drug and chemicals occurs because of their recognition as foreign and incompatible bodies during the scrutiny by the neuroreceptors. Neuroreceptors. The neuroreceptors, neurotransmitters, and hormones play the principal role in regulating the biochemical information processing within the body. Recent investigations of these include experiments on the synaptic connectivity and activity of the neurons by electrochemical stimulants to influence the auto autoregulatory activation at biochemical levels. However, thorough understanding of the endocrine system and possibilities of controlling hormonal secretions and functions are still far from the reach of current developments. Discoveries of different hormones and decipheration of the structure and chemical functions of the hormones and neurochemicals like encephalins and endorphins are remarkable achievements of brain research. These findings would contribute to the fields of research on healthy development of brain and to the medical treatment of neurological and psychological disorders. More significantly, advancement of research has helped understanding the internal structure of brain and the chemistry of endocrine system, and it has shown that the complexities of neurochemical and endocrine reactions have connections with the subtle aspects of personality. It has become clear that as far as the transformation of one's mentality, nature, emotional character, intrinsic values, etc., is concerned, nothing viable could be achieved by the external treatments. By those electrical impulses or medicines, because it is the mental and emotional state of an individual which is dominant in affecting the normal functions of the endocrine system and hence of the neuronal network. In view of the subtle effects, many researchers have now focused their studies on applications of meditation, dhyana, contemplation, manana, and other spiritual yoga sadhanas to improve the health of body and mind. These practices are expected to help refine the inner potentials of one's consciousness so that the neurohormonal secretions would be naturally maintained in harmonious order. I conclude this video here. Namaskar, my dear friends. Next video number 13 will start with the topic growth hormones and change of sex. Thank you. Namaskar.